Hello, everybody. It is Monday, the 17th of March, 2025. Now, to go along with Doge and the government efficiency and all of the stuff that's been going on recently and all of the waste that we're finding and, just generally the money that they're stealing from the taxpayers, I came up with a little solution here, and I'm going to read it to you guys. Let me know what you think. If you think any changes need to be made, what have you. I would like Donald Trump and Elon Musk and anybody that's in our Congress who actually cares about the American people to weigh in and possibly adopt this. It's called the Save Americans Act, which I'm writing it 3/17/2025. So, below is a draft proposal for the Save Americans Act, an initiative designed to provide a universal basic income, UBI, to working Americans while simultaneously reducing the size of the federal government by 50%. This proposal is a conceptual framework based on the request of the American people, and I've structured it to include key components such as objectives, funding mechanisms, implementation, and expected outcomes. Since no such act currently exists under this name as of March 17, 2025, this is a creative exercise grounded in general economic principles and UBI concepts. Feel free, like I said, to adjust specifics as needed. Save Americans Act proposal, a plan to empower working Americans and streamline government. Dated March 17, 2025 by Robert Priest. The executive summary. The Save Americans Act proposes a transformative approach to economic security and government efficiency by providing a universal basic income, UBI, to working Americans while reducing the federal government's size and scope by 50%. This act aims to put money directly into the pockets of hardworking citizens, stimulate economic growth, eliminate bureaucratic inefficiencies, all while maintaining essential services. The UBI will provide a monthly payment of $1,500 to every working American adult, funded through a significant reduction in federal spending and targeted tax reforms. This proposal outlines the rationale, mechanics, and anticipated benefits of this bold initiative. Now, also, we know of all the waste that they are basically stealing from us and using for junk that would go into this as well. Objectives: economic empowerment. Deliver a monthly UBI of $1,500 to every working American adult ages 18 to 64 to enhance financial stability, reduce poverty, and boost spending. Government reduction: cut federal government spending and personnel by 50% by eliminating redundant programs, consolidating agencies, and prioritizing essential functions. The work incentive preservation. Restrict UBI eligibility to individuals with earned income, encouraging workforce participation while supporting economic independence. Long-term prosperity. Stimulate economic growth, reduce income inequality, and simplify the social safety net without decentivizing employment. Background and rationale. The United States faces growing economic challenges, including stagnant wages, rising living costs, and an expensive federal bureaucracy that consumes significant taxpayer resources. In the fiscal year 2025, federal spending is projected to exceed $6 trillion. With the workforce of over 2 million civilians, employees managing hundreds of programs, many of which overlap or underperform. Meanwhile, millions of working Americans struggle to make ends meet despite full-time employment. The Save Americans Act addresses these issues by redirecting resources from an oversized government to the people who drive the economy. Working Americans, by providing a UBI and slashing government expenditures by 50%, this act seeks to create a leaner, more efficient system that prioritizes individuals' freedoms and economic vitality over bureaucratic excess. Key provisions: universal basic income, amount of $1,500 per month, $18,000 annually per eligible adult. U.S. citizens or legal residents age 18 to 64 with earned income of at least $10,000 annually, adjusted for inflation, excluding retirees and full-time students. Distribution, monthly direct deposits or debit card payments administered by a streamlined Treasury Department unit. Estimated recipients, approximately 150 million working adults based on labor force participation data. Reduce the federal government's budget by $6 trillion to $3 trillion annually. Dismantle non-essential agencies and programs, e.g., overlapping welfare systems, redundant regulatory bodies, while preserving core functions, e.g., defense, Social Security for seniors, and Medicare. Workforce reduction. Decrease federal civilian employment from 2 million to 1 million through attrition, early retirement incentives, and relocation to private sector jobs. Consolidation. Merge overlapping agencies, e.g., combine education and labor departments to eliminate waste, or get rid of some of these departments completely because we don't need them, as we've seen with the Department of Education. Funding. 18,000 annually times 150 million equals 2.7 trillion annually, a savings from cuts of 3 trillion from reduced federal spending, revenue adjustments, redirected existing welfare funds 1 trillion annually to UBI, implement a 5% national sales tax on non-essential goods estimated at 300 billion annually, maintain current income tax structure with no additional burden to individuals, budget balance savings and new revenue fully funded by UBI with potential surplus reinvested into infrastructure or debt reduction. Now, like I said, some of these programs will be paid for 100% by the waste that they're finding already. Implementation of Phase 1. Get legislative approval in 25 and 26. Introduce the Save Americans Act to Congress for debate and passage. Establish a bipartisan commission to identify expandable programs and agencies. Phase 2, transition period 26-27. Begin UBI payments at a pilot level, 500 monthly, for 10 million workers to test logistics. Initiate government downsizing, starting with the voluntary retirement and program sunset. Phase 3, full rollout 2027 onward. Scale UBI to 1,500 for all eligible workers. Complete 50% reduction in government size, ensuring essential services remain operational. Expected outcomes of the economic benefit. Increase disposable income for 150 million Americans, driving consumer spending and GDP growth. Reduction in poverty among working families, with ripple effects on health and education outcomes. Simplified income support systems, eliminating bureaucratic hurdles. A leaner federal government focused on core responsibilities, e.g., national security infrastructure, reduced administrative costs, saving taxpayers billions annually. The social impact. Enhanced financial security for working Americans without decentivizing employment, potential reduction in income equality as UBI supplements wages, challenges, and mitigation challenges. Resistance from government employees and beneficiaries of cut programs, mitigation, offer retaining programs and private sector job placement for displaced workers, phase out programs gradually. Some of the challenges: funding shortfalls if economic projections falter, mitigation, adjust UBI amount dynamically based on the revenue, e.g. $1,200 a month if needed, and prioritize spending cuts. Additional challenges: public perception of the handouts. UBI, frame UBI as a reward for work, not welfare, targeting only those with earned income. Conclusion: the Save Americans Act represents a bold reimagining of the relationship between the citizens and the government by providing a universal basic income to working Americans and slashing government size by 50%. This act empowers individuals, boosts the economy, and restores fiscal discipline. It is a practical, forward-thinking solution to the challenges of the 21st century, ensuring that every working American has the resources to thrive while reducing reliance on an overburdened federal system. We urge Congress to act swiftly to debate and enact the transformative legislation. Refine the cost estimates with detailed economic modeling, solicit input from stockholders, e.g., economists, labor groups, taxpayers, draft legislative text from the introduction in the House and Senate. This proposal balances ambition with feasibility, aligning with your vision of UBI for working Americans paired with a drastic reduction in government. Let me know if you would like to tweak or modify anything that I've talked about here. So, let me know what you think of the Save Americans Act. Let me know what we could do to fix it. Someone share this. Let's get it in front of Donald Trump and let's get it in front of Elon Musk, because I think it's a great program. I think the Save Americans Act is long overdue after hearing how much they've stolen from us. So that's just the proposal there that I have. If anybody would like a copy of it, I can email it out to people. I will try to figure out how to get it up in the in my comment section so that way you can read it yourself. So let me know what your thoughts are and we'll go from there. You guys have a good night.